Hello teams, I'm Dheeraj from Edgeline Championship. I know you all are waiting for rulebook session, so I will not make you to wait more. We'll start with it and I'll welcome you all to the Edgeline Championship 2022-2023. Let's begin with the rulebook. I know you have gone through it, but it's my duty to clarify if any concerns or doubts are there regarding rulebook. So firstly, there are some admin guidelines, that is administrative guidelines like overview and objectives. Today, we'll not touch it. You can go through it and let me know if you have any concerns. Next is these are some authorities and rules to be understood by teams and they are mandatory to be followed. These are registration rules and regulations like who can participate and what are the requirements for all the participants. Like ID card is mandatory for every team member and faculty as well. Students from diploma or degree course can participate. And one major thing, all the team members should be from the same institute. So next is what is age line? As you can see, the event flow. It flows like registration, rulebook session, work follow-up, submissions, presentations, and on-ground event. That is dynamic event. Here make note of it. On-ground event will be conducted after 40 to 45 days of presentations. That means after completing presentations, the next 1.5 month you'll be having your dynamics so that after presentation you can only focus on your cart like building its performance enhancement, all those things. Now we'll understand the event structure. As you know, three state, three race, and one champion. So each phase, like three state, three races are called as three phases. So each phase having prize money of 4 lakh. For if a team want to participate for all of the three phases, so the team have to pay 75,000 as registration amount. Similarly, if a team want to participate for two events, then it's 50, and for single event it's 25,000. So it is not mandatory that you have to participate for all the three events. You can participate in one event or two events, but it will affect your overall ranking. As the one champion will be checking all one champion means will be checking how much you have scored in each three of the events, and accordingly, a rank will be provided. So whosoever the team scores maximum points will be called a champion. So this is a big title, a champion of season. The next is regarding venues and dates. So we are conducting these three events in three different states. So first will be in Maharashtra, second will be in Karnataka, and third will be in Delhi. So talking about the dates, these are for the dynamic events. In the January 2023, we'll be having our first dynamic. July 2023, we'll be having second dynamic that is in Karnataka. And the third phase will be at Delhi in January 2024. One put some light on it. So first is team requirement. So any team participating must have a faculty advisor as a role of authority. Team should have their own logo, the team name, college name, and email address for communication purpose. Multiple teams from same institute can participate, but the designs and documentations should be different. Team must carry their vehicle registration papers or the NFC, whatever it is from your side, but any one of them is mandatory. And next is your college ID for all the team members and faculty advisor as well, with college approval letter is mandatory. Okay, so talking about the team formation, we are allowing 25 students, maximum number of students in one team. If you have extra members, those are also allowed, but for that you have to pay 500 per member extra. Some team members, those are acceptable are 8. That is because of number of departments and work they have to divide. We have considered 8 as the best one. Contact details, teams are responsible for providing a valid contact details for every team member and the faculty advisor. So we have two categories. First one is the combustion, second one is electric. Both have same registration fees, that is 25,000. And as the registration fees is separate, likewise the will be, awards are also separate for both the categories. Don't worry, I most of you have already received it, your payment slip. So do carry that a copy of your payment slip at the time of event also. Below are the payment details on which you can do your payments. So fees should be paid within 10 days of your registration. Okay, otherwise the team will not be considered for the final event. They will be disqualified. The next point is driver's requirement. So what we expect from teams, they should keep 2 drivers. Not each driver should have a four-wheeler driving license as well as full accidental coverage insurance. And these both should be valid at the time of event also. Now, talking about the suit, single layer suit is sufficient for go-karting. So so we would like to recommend every team that they should borrow, or if you want to purchase it, you can purchase. But each team should have 2 driving suits with complete gears, the clothings and the helmets and the shoes, neck supporter, everything should be double. If something bad happens to your first driver, so you'll not have that much time to gear up for the second driver, right? So at that time, it's better to have 2 drivers ready for the race. Next, underclothing is there, helmet, balaclava, hand gloves, shoes, and obviously neck supporters. And one thing is also mandatory: if you can, mention your driver's blood group somewhere that is visible for everyone. These are some technical rules and guidelines. I Hope you have followed it. Because for the TI, the first checking is done for the vehicle dimensions. The wheelbase should be in between 40 to 54 inches. For the for building of your cart, you can use tubes or rectangular pipes that is of 1 inch section with a thickness varying from 1.25 to 2 mm. The recommended materials are AISI 1018, 1020, and etc. According to your understanding, according to your knowledge, you can use. But what no matter which material you're using, you have to carry two test report. That first one is chemical test report, the second is physical test report. That is passing your safety criteria. The ground clearance of each cart must be in between 1 inch to 4 inch. Beyond that, will not be entertained. You will be directly disqualified. Now the track width. The smaller track width should not be less than 75% of your major track width. Suppose if you are having your rear track width as 100, so your front wheel track width should not be less than 75. It should be above 75. The turning radius should not be greater than 3 meter, and this is about your overall length and width. So your maximum length of your cart should not exceed 80 inches. The maximum length includes your bumpers too. Keep that in mind, and accordingly you can design your bumpers for your chassis. Maximum width which you can have is 60 inches. Wheels and tires. Talking about the wheels and tires, teams are free to use any rim and any tire. Just keep that in mind. You have to maintain ground clearance up to 1 to 4 inches. Instead of going for a dry or wet, we would recommend you to use intermediate tires so that they can support any weather or any track condition. Floor pans. Floor pans should be of metal and minimum thickness should be of 0.5 mm. So it won't be loaded with much weight on your cart, but eventually it will be helpful for you. It won't let you any debris to be in the cart. And the important thing is no wires or the cables or fluid line should be below your floor pan. Everything should be into your cart only. The last part of your uh, after your chassis should be the floor pan. The last part of your chassis, which is touching to the ground, should be the floor pan. So, talking about the fasteners should be of 8.8 grade only or above, and we'll recommend you to use Allen bolts. And driver should driver seat should withstand dynamic conditions so that it it should be mounted rigidly at 4 points so that if any ups and downs and uh, surfaces are on the road, so that it should bear it. Should be at least 2 inches away from the firewall. The firewall should be minimum 1 inch away from the engine. That will help you for heat dissipation. System, it must have positive steering stopper that prevents steering linkage from locking up either in the right hand side and or left hand side. The steering play For steering wheel, it is acceptable up to 7 degrees. Steering ratio should be 1 is to 1 only. If it is less or greater, the team will be disqualified. Steering rod should be of 18 mm outer diameter, that is minimum. Above that, you can use. That's your choice. Two, steering rod and spart must be linked with proper fasteners and joints. Use of welding is not acceptable. These parts should be removable. That's why use fasteners or use fasteners there only. So pedal must be made up of mild steel, stainless steel, aluminum. That's your choice. But proper stops should be provided to pedal also. And it should retract once pressed. It should come back to its original place. It should come back to its original position without any external assistance. Once you have pressed your pedal on the brake pad, the brake light should glow. Next is body work. So teams have their own choices. You can make your vehicle attractive as per your thinking or as per your imagination. But some points are mandatory also. But some points are mandatory there also. Nose cap, side, front, and rear body work. So accordingly, you have to keep some spaces over there. That is 7-inch space for your vehicle number on, on nose and 4-inch on the side body panel. Leave 7-inch space for vehicle number on nose and 4-inch on your side. That is on your bumpers, side bumpers. Brake light should be visible from 3 meters. So you can use bright red color brake light so that it will be visible in sunlight also. So bumpers are there, that is from front, rear, side, that will protect your chassis or your cart while collision. And the important thing is no portion of vehicle except wheel obviously should be out of your bumpers. Your bumper area should be your like edge for your cart. As I already told you regarding the firewall, if you're using aluminum sheet over there, then it should be of 3 mm. And if you're using MS sheet, then it should not be less than 0.5. We'll be needing one BOT, that is brake over travel switch, and two kill switches. The brake over travel switch should be mounted behind your brake pedal. One kill switch should be in the range of driver if in case he wants to stop, and second should be accessible by the external person. So accordingly, you choose your positions where you want to mount it. If your vehicle can go reverse, you have made some changes in gearbox, then you have to add some reverse light and alarm for it. So for the batteries, teams must use dry battery packs because the vehicles will be in the running state. So dry battery pack is recommended that to be mounted properly. Chain guard is also mandatory. Vehicle weight should not exceed 110 kg. The vehicle weight should not be greater than 110 kg. At the time of event, if you found it is greater than 110 kg, then you will be disqualified. Pull push rod is for your help for carrying your vehicle here and there. You have to use only pull push rod until and unless you are said you can start your cart. So for the towing point should be highlighted in orange color for mm, use of pull push rod. Team should carry a vehicle stand over there so that if in case they want to work on it, you can put your cart on a stand and you can work. So here you can see how a stand looks like. Your wiring harness should be away from any heated surface like engines or exhaust. You have to take care of it. And no loose wires. Tie up your wires properly. Use proper length so that no need to manage it. Team should carry two fire extinguishers with ABC rating. And your validity certificate and bill you have to carry with you. Will be validating those things also. In case of emergency, if you need, you have to carry your own tools like grinding, welding machines, safety equipments, which includes goggles, welding sheets, gloves, shoes, full sleeve t-shirt or t-shirt, whichever is available. But while using hot pit, you must have all these things. For innovations, we are open for your ideas also. Based on your implementation or your thought process, you will be evaluated. Till now, we have talked about IC specifications. Now we'll talk about the e-card specifications. So as you can see, the motor type can be AC or DC. Maximum power is of 6 kilowatt and maximum voltage is of 72. Otherwise, we label in which that is mentioned the maximum rated power is of 4 kilowatt. The RPM should be less than 3600. Maximum voltage should be in the range between 48 to 60 volt. And the peak current is of 100 and 200. The peak current is in between 100 to 120 amps. So for controller, the controller should be programmed to run the motor not more than 80 km per hour in forward direction and 15 km per hour in reverse direction. And one you have to make sure that any failure in the system should shut the motor off the same moment. Battery pack is a crucial part. That is your powerhouse. So the capacity which is allowed for the Edgeline championship for e-cart is of 150 ampere hour. The battery voltage you can use up to 144 volt. Here here you have to manage your heat generation also. The heat generation should not be greater than 6 megajoule. We have allowed we have also allowed a secondary battery that is for horn and tail light. It should not be used for powering your motor. The main battery should be used only for powering the motor. Your battery should be your battery pack should be in a container, and that container too have to withstand the respective directions. That container should withstand forces in respective direction, like 40 G in longitudinal direction, 40 G in lateral, and 20 G in vertical. It should be capable of withstanding these forces. Battery management system. BMS is used to monitor cell voltage as well as cell temperature. BMS is mandatory for every team. If you don't have BMS, then team won't be allowed or it will be disqualified. After battery pack, the main thing you need is charger. So for inputs for chargers are 100 to 220 volts, 50-60 hertz, that varies. So anything you can have. The crucial thing over is charger must match battery pack specifications. Okay, for electrical it is mandatory to you have to match your specification for the controller, the battery pack, and the motor, and the charger. So choose all of this carefully. So now we'll talk about the IC specifications. The engine type should be of single cylinder air cooled four stroke engine. Fuel type is petrol. The maximum capacity is of 160 cc. The fuel tank for it should not be less than 3 liters and not more than 5 liters, because 5 liter tanks or 3 liter tank is sufficient for the go-kart events. The teams must use spillover tray for your fuel. We don't want to spill your will not allow if your fuel is spilling over the road. So for that you can use catch cans instead of spilling. So you can collect that fuel in catch can. The proper ventilations and position of tank, proper ventilation and position of your tank is very much of important. We would recommend to have your fuel tank above your engine head so that with the help of gravity that fuel will flow. Your exhaust must be covered with resistant material. It should be rigidly mounted. If any technical inspector your exhaust is not mounted properly, you won't be allowed for the further events. Okay. So then finally the event part starts. So our first stage is for presentation. So in presentation, we'll be having three types of presentation, that is design, cost, and business. So here are some rules for presentations. For presentation from each team, 2 to 6 members can be there, not more than that. You have to bring your presentation slide. Each part the design analysis should be included in it. Images which are pasting or which you are bringing with your slides. Images which are bringing your slides must be clear and visible. The what are the image we are able to see in the image, that this exact part should be in your card. For this, you have to submit you for checking purpose before your presentations. For checking, we'll need your models like 3D model of a card, 2D and 3D designs of your parts, your design report, analysis report, because these things will be judged, because these things will be checked first, then after we'll evaluate you based on your knowledge. So till now what we talk that so till now what we talk that that's all. Till now what we talk, these things you have to consider for you preparing for your presentations and the dynamics. So starting with the static events, that is presentations. So in presentations, we'll be conducting three types of presentation, that is design, cost, and business. But before starting these presentations, you'll be notified with the date. So you have to submit your the presentations, reports, analysis, then 3D cart model, 2D and 3D designs of your parts. So some rules are there for presentations also. For presenting from each team, there should be 2 to 6 members only. The presentation should be of maximum 20 slides. Each part analysis should be included in that. Image should be clear and visible. Additional references are allowed if you are not able to accommodate it or your design in 20 slides. If if we found that the same thing is mentioned in your additional reference and your slides, then it won't be considered. So that so it won't be entertained also. Talking about the business presentations, business presentation should be of 15 pages only, and presentation should cover all the points mentioned in P5. No, don't worry, P5 is our next point. So what and all things should be covered in business presentations are market analysis, product and cost, break-even analysis, cost distribution, plant layout, resources of material, manpower and transport facility, sales strategy, and most important, environmental impact. All these things must be there in your business presentation. Next is your cost presentation. So with cost presentation, you have to prepare presentations or you can bring your cost report, and there you can explain like what processes, what things and tools you use, and how effectively you manage costing. For all for cost and design, you'll be provided with the templates. Those you can find on those you can find on our official website, that's wisdomiteshomes.com. For submission, you have a particular format. So all things you want to submit or the mention, you have to copy that all the files into one folder. You have to create a zip. You need to name it as your team name underscore EC underscore year name, like 2023, 2024, or 2022, 2023. Likewise, in this format only you have to submit your files. So what I talked about, like documentations and all those things. Beside that, we have to. Beside that, we want you to submit a business pitch video. So in that, you have to talk about your product, that is your card, its features, and the journey of your team from start to end of this product. And this video will be considered for the social media award. We'll be publishing this video based on your watch time. The social media award will be decided based on the watch time. The social media award will be decided. How? Now, the dynamic events. So firstly, we'll have a break test. So that's the elimination round. Without clearing break test, you won't be allowed for next events. So for the brake test, the speed of vehicle must not be less than 40 km per hour. After braking, your vehicle should not travel more than 5 meters. The car should stop in a straight line, and each team will be provided 3 attempts to clear it. If not clear, it will be sent back. Next event is skid pad. The next event is skid pad. So as all you know, you'll be provided with the H shape or S shape with 2 attempts. You have to complete number of turns over there mentioned, and that best timing will be considered for the scoring. Next is acceleration. Acceleration determines how fastly your card can accelerate. Here also you'll be provided the two. So next event is acceleration. So in this acceleration also you'll be provided with the two attempts. You'll be checking how fast your card can accelerate on a flat surface. The shorter the time will be considered for your scoring purpose. The next one is autocross. In autocross will be provided with a zigzag path, so you have to go through it. So basically, this autocross is meant for checking your balancing and your steering, how strong your steering is, and how you can control your complete card with the help of your steering. Stage of our event will be endurance. Before endurance, all the teams those have completed previous rounds, they will be given a track overview so that the driver can decide how he wants to drive. In the endurance events, we'll be checking your overall performance and the vehicle's reliability. Okay, around it will consist of 25 to 30 laps. It would take around 1 hour, depending upon your speed. The team who completes these laps in lesser amount of time without any stoppage will be considered winner for the endurance. Based on all your points in the endurance, autocross, then acceleration, skid pad, and your presentations, the winner will be decided for this event, only for this particular event, not for the series. After completion of such 3 events, we'll be adding up the score from each event and we'll be deciding our champion for the season. Checking all for the parameters around which you have built your card, like safety, weight, dimension, design, stresses, braking, powertrain, everything. And all this thing should be as per mentioned in the rule book only. For the TI, only 4 members will be allowed from the team, including captain and driver. Here also, Here we have mentioned some judging criteria for designs. What we'll be judging, will be taking into consideration for the designs and constraints, material selections, shape and weight. Here we have provided some judging criteria for design. Those are dimension constraints, material selection, shape and weight, mountings, design and analysis, how detailing you're providing, and appearance of your vehicle. Likewise, for the business, all the points mentioned under the presentation requirement, like market analysis, cost, manpower, environmental impact, everything. Similarly, for the cost, like how smartly you manage your expenses and is it feasible or not. That's the main point for the cost. Now, for the dynamic, brake test will be your eliminator. For the, now, for the dynamic, brake test will be your elimination. If you cross that elimination, then you'll proceed with it. For the, if you clear that elimination, then only you'll be allowed for other events like acceleration, skid pad, autocross, and endurance. So here are some flags. So black flag is for driver must stop kart and go to penalty pit for discussion. Checked flag is for good job. Now you can exit the course. Green is for indicating that you can go forward. Yellow is to indicate you have to slow down your kart. The red one, once the red flag is shown, you have to stop immediately. So these all were technical things. Now how you have to manage, how you have to mount everything on your cart. Each and every component should be mounted rigidly. The pedal mounting must bear 700 Newton of force. If in panic situations we try to press pedal hard, so in that situation it should not break. Engine or motor mounting should be properly strengthened, like not for the engine and motor, just everything, every each and every part which you are using, it should be mounted properly and rigidly. It should not like move while cart is on the way. So these is penalties, that is a point cutter. I, I will recommend every team to be on time, prepare everything on time, and submit it before the deadline, so that you won't be a part of penalties. So you don't have to go under penalty section. I'll explain it with you an example. Suppose you have to submit your present. Suppose you have to submit your documents on 10th of November. That is in the next month. But you fail to submit it on 10th. You submit on 11th. So what is your overall score after the event? So we'll deduct 20 points from that score as a penalty for submitting documents. For violation of any flag, it will be charged with 50 points. Running vehicle without permission will be charged with 100 points. Misbehavior to any judge or any official person, it will directly cut you 100 points, or it may lead to disqualification also, or it may lead to disqualification also. If you have made any change after your TI, you have not re-verified it with the technical persons, you will be disqualified or you will be charged with a penalty of 100 points. For each and every time you go to hot pit, minus 25 points will be credited to your account. Next is our point table for each presentation or each event, how much points you can gain. For design, there is 150. For cost, 150. For business, it is 100. Especially for innovation, we have kept 50 points. Adding these 50s into certain points so that we will be able to judge you properly. For skid pad is 100. For autocross, 100. Acceleration, 50. And for endurance, it is 300. So total score is out of 1000. Brake test is not included over here cause it's an elimination round. Here you can here you can see number of awards and the prize money for each category. So altogether we have 52 awards. That's a huge number. Okay, that's it for my side.